A bold smear of crimson lipstick marred my cheek, a glaring symbol of betrayal. It was no longer merely makeup. It had transformed into a sign, a caution, a portent of something far more sinister than a light-hearted night out. My wife of 10 years, Elena, stumbled through the door in the early morning hours, her breath heavy with the sharp tang of tequila, and cloaked in a fragrance that wasn't her own, sweet, floral, unfamiliar. Her steps were unsteady as she struggled to kick off her high heels. Then, meeting my eyes, her gaze clouded, she muttered, "Sorry, darling, I'm late." She leaned in, her kiss awkward, leaving that red streak on my face with careless abandon. "Girls' night ran long," she said with a chuckle that sounded forced. That laugh, once a sweet tune that warmed my heart, a reminder of my blessings, now churned my stomach. It felt false, hollow, wrong. There had been signs, faint but relentless, that I'd dismissed, explained away, overlooked. The calls she didn't answer, the texts she hid from me, her sudden fixation on her appearance, new dresses, different hairstyles, lingerie unworn for years. She claimed it was for herself, for her self-esteem, and I wanted to believe her. Yet her warmth grew distant, her excuses thin. Her eyes would flicker away when I asked where she'd been, her replies too quick, too rehearsed. Something was coming undone, unraveling. Still, I held on to hope, telling myself every marriage hits rough patches, that my suspicions were just insecurity, that love could heal us. But that night, with the stench of alcohol and someone else's scent clinging to her, something inside me refused to ignore the truth any longer. She collapsed onto the bed, her soft snores filling the air within minutes, her makeup smudged across her face. I sat beside her, staring into the quiet, the only sound the faint buzz of her phone on the nightstand. A notification lit up the screen. I paused, my respect for her boundaries battling my fading trust. Trust, I realized, depends on truth, and mine was eroding. The phone displayed a message preview from a contact named Yoga Retreat. "Tonight was amazing. Already longing for you." My heart pounded as I read it. Yoga Retreat. She'd mentioned a yoga class last week, too. My hands trembled as I unlocked the phone. The conversation thread stretched back weeks, maybe months, intimate, heartfelt, carefully orchestrated exchanges. They spoke of secret meetings in hotel suites, rushed moments in car parks, shared giggles, desire, connection. This wasn't a momentary lapse. It was a purposeful, emotional affair. Then I discovered the voicemails. 2 of them. The first from a man with a calm, confident voice. "Hey beautiful, just thinking of you. Can't wait for tomorrow." Sickness gripped me. The second voicemail was worse. Elena's voice, bright and joyful, a tone missing from our conversations for years. "Oh Marcus, I can't stop thinking about you either. Being with you, it's everything." The name Marcus sliced through me like a knife. I sat, illuminated by the phone's faint glow, the truth cutting into me over and over. 10 years of shared moments, inside jokes, vacations, dreams of growing old together. It all collapsed under the weight of those brief seconds of audio. I didn't cry or lash out. I sat in silence, the phone heavy in my hand, the foundation beneath me gone. By morning, I'd made my decision. When Elena woke, dazed and disoriented, I greeted her with a calm that hid the storm inside. I handed her a mug of coffee, sat across from her, and asked, "How was your night with the girls?" She blinked, forcing a weak smile. "It was great. Maybe too much tequila." "I'm sure," I said, my tone steady but edged. Then I pressed, "Did you go to yoga too?" Her body stiffened, her hand shaking as she raised the mug, coffee spilling onto the table. "What? What are you talking about?" she faltered, her voice unsteady. Without a word, I pulled her phone from my pocket and played the second voicemail. Her voice filled the room, confessing her feelings for another man. Her face drained of color, her breath hitched, panic flaring in her eyes. The truth stood undeniable between us. "Who's Marcus?" I asked, my voice low but laced with barely restrained anger. Her mouth opened and shut, grasping for words she couldn't find. Finally she stammered, I can explain." "Explain." My voice cracked, the pain I'd suppressed breaking free. "Explain how you deceived me, day after day, while sneaking around behind my back?" Over the next few days, the full story came apart like a frayed tapestry. She'd met Marcus, a colleague, at a work conference months ago. What started as playful banter grew into something deeper. She called it a mistake, a fleeting lapse purely physical. But the messages told a different tale, emotional, intimate, personal. She hadn't just betrayed me. She'd built a parallel life while pretending ours was intact. The pain was excruciating. I couldn't look at her without feeling ill. The trust was broken beyond repair. But I wasn't done. I needed Marcus to face the destruction he'd caused. Finding him was simple. His social media showcased a flawless life. A radiant wife, children, corporate events, luxurious vacations. I located his workplace and waited outside one evening, my breath misting in the chill. When he stepped out and saw me, he froze, his face paling. "You're Elena's husband," he whispered. "That's right," I said. "We need to talk." I didn't shout or threaten him. I laid out the truth, showed him the messages, played the voicemails. His confident facade crumbled, replaced by guilt, fear, and realization. He tried to deflect, claiming Elena had misled him, but I cut him off with a look. "You ruined my marriage," I said. "Now I'll ruin yours." I walked away, not out of vengeance, but because he needed to face the consequences of his actions. Weeks later, the fallout unfolded. Elena and I filed for divorce. She moved out, leaving the house empty, echoing with absence. She cried, begged for forgiveness, but it was too late. Every glance at her brought back the lies, the voicemail, the lipstick. Marcus's life fell apart, too. I heard his wife left him, taking their children, his pristine reputation tarnished. His once perfect world turned to rubble. But there were no victors, only wreckage. I sold the house, unable to endure the memories of our envisioned future. I started over, alone. The solitude was heavy, sometimes crushing, but I rebuilt myself bit by bit. Work became a sanctuary, old hobbies a solace, friends a lifeline. Gradually, I began to feel whole again. Years later, I saw Elena in a cafe. She looked tired, her smile faint, her eyes shadowed with regret. We talked, not of the betrayal, but of life, time, and loss. She apologized, her voice steady, sincere. I forgave her, not for her sake, but to release myself from the weight I'd carried. Forgiveness didn't erase the past or excuse her actions. It was freedom. The lipstick mark, once a symbol of deceit, had faded. The pain had dulled, the wounds scarred over. Those scars were mine, proof of survival, of resilience, of rediscovering feeling. And somehow that was enough.